Hello, this is Cryptolyze. I hope you are well this Tuesday, 24 October 2023. It is with pleasure that I meet with you today to talk about XRP, Ripple's crypto. As usual, we will dissect it into two parts. A fundamental part, we will come back to what is XRP, to what is Ripple, to the news, and a technical part where we will project ourselves in the short, medium, long term on purchase prices, sale prices, and it starts right away. As a reminder, you always have the possibility of having free access to the educational course, which is a 60-hour training course worth €400, which allows you to learn blockchain, crypto, investment, technical analysis, trading, everything to become profitable. Through 130 videos, 400 pages of guides, quizzes to find out where you are in your progress, and all for free. To have access to this lifelong training, simply use the platform of one of our partners. Everything is explained in the comments and descriptions. What is Ripple? So Ripple is a project that is very old, and it is a company that really aims to promote international monetary transactions. So they use a crypto, which is XRP, which is the crypto of their blockchain, which is called XRP Ledger, which mainly allows international monetary interconnections with a finality of 3 seconds, 100% transparent and without pre-funding. It is truly one of the major players in crypto-based money transfers, and they have decided to change their image. If you remember the videos I made in 2022, I told you that it was in progress, that it was necessary, that at a given moment, there was no choice in terms of XRP Ledger to change the way they market and offer new products, something which is done mainly with CBDCs. CBDC, therefore, which are the central bank cryptos in which they offer, therefore Ripple offers, the infrastructure to be able to design them. Designing them, even to go even further, means designing them, processing them, distributing them, managing transactions, and above all, destroying them if we need to reduce the money supply. So overall, Ripple offers institutions, whether governmental or traditional institutions, the ability to create their own cryptos, and to be able to directly interface these cryptos as a means of payment and manage all of that in a form of infrastructure, certainly as the service, which allows for a new business model. So we have a shift that is taking place at the level of Ripple, and this is also seen in terms of their image and in terms of their typology of communication. Next to it, technically, we have XRP Ledger, which is the blockchain which is below Ripple, in which we have a blockchain which is public with a certain number of tools which allow us to build decentralized applications. Afterwards, I admit to you that on XRP Ledger, there is not a huge ecosystem either, but that is not the main goal of Ripple and XRP. XRP is Ripple's way of selling their services. This is really the principle of XRP. This is the usefulness that we will have on the real sale of Ripple. Ripple operates. XRP is the very principle. Clearly, at the level of XRP Ledger, we will have a finality which will be between 3 and 5 seconds. We will have costs which are very, very low, $0, $2 per transaction, and we will have 1,500 transactions per second, which is more than sufficient compared to what they are building. Namely that the CBDCs, for example, will not be on the public part of XRP Ledger, but will certainly be in a specialized XRP Ledger for this CBDC is closed, okay? So the 1,500 is only for the public blockchain and the use they have of it, so it is more than sufficient. So why do we talk a lot about XRP? Because they have been in confrontation with the SEC for almost 2 years, and it is really a confrontation which is very strong, because Ripple does not let itself be done. It does not want to let itself be done by the SEC, and that is one of the first that we see, and especially XRP and Ripple were able to have enough strength to bend part of the SEC on some of the allegations. The allegations made that XRP was a security, which is the U.S. term for defining that it is a security in a form of stock. A security as we define it, and therefore the principle was that if it is a securities version, it must be filed with the SEC. There are a certain number of elements that must be done, a certain number of pricing to have, and things that have not been done. And they define that XRP precisely meets the notion of transferable value and should have covered this element. And what is important to see is that basic crypto is afraid of being qualified as a form of securities, because that also means that we will have a very strong impact on all existing cryptos. And that's why the lawsuit between XRP, Ripple, and the SEC is really essential for the world of crypto, because it can serve as jurisprudence for precisely all other cryptos. So not all other cryptos are capable of doing what Ripple did, because Ripple already has the means to be able to drop 100, 150, 200 million in lawyer fees, which is not the case for all cryptos. But in any case, what is certain is that they have succeeded in proving that, for example, Ethereum by the former president of the SEC, Hinman, was defined as being precisely a non-securities. And they managed to define throughout the trial that, in fact, XRP, depending on the way in which it is marketed, is not a security. And that's really a big point. It was this summer, and we recently learned news that Ripple is also dropping all the lawsuits concerning Brad and Chris, who are directly XRP, and Ledger are members of XRP and Ripple, so it is excessively positive. Does this imply that we are not behind a new trial which is likely to happen with the SEC? It's possible, but in any case, it's very good news for cryptos. And above all, it gives some fresh air, because since June 6th, when we had pressure from the SEC on all cryptos, like what all the cryptos were the securities and that they were going to take care of it, that's a big breath. And the fact of having had this defeat this summer also helps all the cryptos to say that, well, yes, in fact, by fighting, we can achieve it. And that means that the SEC will have much more difficulty to prove precisely the securities part. And in any case, it is sure and certain that there will be no trial which will be carried out quickly and systematically. I think it will be defended, so it is extremely positive. Obviously, the price reacted positively. We will move on to the technical analysis, in which we see here the first phase of accumulation. Then the graph is older. We do not go until 2016. So we normally have more information. But what is important to see is that normally we have an acceleration too. Here, a comeback, a classic accumulation phase, and a re-acceleration in which we had April 2021. So classic, big acceleration, big valuation linked to the advent, really to the saturation of Ethereum and finance decentralized. And then we had the establishment of a distribution. Very well done. BCARST. Classic. Stopping of the upward trend. We retrace, we retest, we sink, and we make the sign of weakness. Sign of weakness, which is important, which is a phase of lateralization and accumulation that we always find on this type of project. And what it is important to see is that during this entire bearish descent, we had several things. One, a downward pressure that was related to a relatively large token sale, something that ended up in this, and then the pressure from the SEC, the lawsuit that was still ongoing. And there we have the lateralization with the stopping of the downward trend. So we can clearly see here this big lateralization. And an acceleration also from the moment when we started to note the fact that potentially XRP could win, and that there would be more and more news in this direction. With the news here, we see that we have a big acceleration. Obviously, we went to retrace the entire lower part, retest exactly this area that I had given you, and then we are in the process of lateralizing, and we see that we are starting to have an upward acceleration again with a form of small accumulation that we are seeing, which is relatively sad or clear for the moment, but which in any case has the potential to exist. And we are still in the spot zone in an XRP, which is becoming interesting again, with behind a reduction in the risks linked to the SEC, and therefore necessarily a valuation of the company and the token. Afterwards, we must ask ourselves the following question. Is XRP representative of the valuation that Ripple will have in the use of XRP? I don't think so. We don't forget that we are buying a utility token and that it is not at all the principle of having a stock. Otherwise, it would be a securities and no longer a commodity. These two things are not, so be careful with these things. What can we set as a target? So already on a bull run, therefore end of bull run, already obviously we could consider that we are in a wave 1, wave 2, and prepare an Elliotist wave 3 with a Fibonacci extension target, 1.618, the number gold for an XRP in the area of 335. Namely that we will have two big zones to break, which is obviously the one that we left between 0.94 and the $1, which will be a real sell-off zone, therefore massive sale, which will be to hold and manage, and then we will have the EST between 1.4 and 1.5, in which we will have a large part of sales, and it's the same. These are perhaps areas to take profits, because we could have a UT-UTAD for a distribution, but we could very well also have a distribution without UTUTAD and just see a retest of the ATH and then get stuck with other issues which could be more judicial. So you must always pay attention to your exposure and take into consideration that these are purchases in which you will have to systematically follow the news, especially in a company like Ripple and XRP, which is already strong in news. I hope you liked this video. If so, leave me a like and a comment. It always makes me very happy. And I'm sure you'll love the video I made on Matic or Paul, because it's changing its name, the Polygon Crypto. I'll put the link there, and we'll see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. for the daily.